a song, baby. It's just a song, baby. You wrong, baby. You strong? Yeah, man. I'm out here walking to work now. It's a little sunny. What's on that? No, this shit is bipolar. Nah, man. Yeah, late, but it's all good. We still gonna get there. Taking our time today. Reason why? I thought today was a holiday. I know I explained myself already. I thought today was a holiday. But I'm still gonna go through the schedule thing, the way I set it up and everything else, because technically speaking, I still don't know. Feel me? So I'm still gonna go through with it anyway, yo. Um, yeah, on my way. I posted a few throwback videos because I told a throwback story. I couldn't wait until tomorrow. I'm like, fuck it, let me just do it today. I know usually they got throwback Thursday. So I'm like, no, let me just throw throwback today. I do my own throwback Wednesday. Just because it's a TH, that's why they place it on throwback Thursday. But I did it throwback Wednesday. Fuck y'all niggas. I do my own thing. You feel me? That's just what it is. I had to throw a few things back. You know how that shit go, man. Why the haters hate? Niggas stay hating, man. Shit changed. Shout out to St. Patrick. St. Patrick, I don't even know St. Patrick. Feel me? All this saint talk. All this holy talk. Where the holy at? Oh, that shit crazy, man. Whew. All this talk that these niggas be talking about. Ain't nobody really talking about what happened. Yesterday, it was news that it was a shooting at 3. The hell is that? Shit, weird as fuck. There was a shooting at 3. What is it? 3 massage parlor or spa places. From what I'm hearing, most of the women, if not all of the women, were women and they were Asian. Feel me? So the fact that they said, I mean, it's kind of sad that it's sad on my part too, because I wasn't willing to accept the fact that I thought it was like, okay, a few incidents here, but this shit right here, I can't say nothing. Feel me? This shit crazy. Like, you killing, it's ridiculous. I'm not saying that killing men is okay. Killing is bad, but like, these niggas gotta stop with the soft target. You go into a person working area, and first of all, I'm at work, right? I'm just putting myself in a situation. I'm at work. I'm already relaxed. There's no defense purpose in that. I'm in the mood to work. You feel me? I'm relaxed already. Then I'm a woman. There's no threat in that area, so I understand why he did what he did. You feel me? That nigga crazy. It's like there's no reason why you should be doing that. Why are these individuals who that you shoot? We're not even gonna just make this a race this. We're gonna make this as an individual issue and a psychological issue. Let's not pretend that the COVID-19 hasn't had a mental strain on our everyday life. You feel me? This is why we gotta talk about mental health. This is the time that we need to be talking about mental health in this situation, because it has a lot to do with mental health. So let's not pretend, but let's look at the situation at hand. I want to analyze it from a different point of view. Feel me? I know a lot of people want to talk about race and say, oh, this white nigga crazy, da da da. It's been a history. Rightfully so. It's been a history of, young white boys usually going out into places where they have no business of going and doing these things, and it's very troubling. And anybody in their right mind would be like, oh, this shit is troubling. Even if I was white, I'd be like, yo, this shit is troubling. It could happen to me as an individual, you feel me? They seem to be they do it to everybody. It doesn't even whether it's a school, whether it's a church, or whether it's a working place, it seems like it's a terrorist act. Like, when you look at it from a broad spectrum of things, you be like, yo, this shit is fuck is going like, it's not even fun. I'm just laughing out of confusion and frustration. I'm like, yo, this shit is, I mean, think about it. And you shouldn't feel offended as a white man if somebody brings such subjects up. You'd be crazy to even think of something like that, you feel me? Like, don't feel offended, my nigga. What I want to talk about is the individuals involved. We're not talking about race or anything else like that. And if somebody was to bring white into the issue, it would be a mistake for you to feel offended. It means that you are playing to the part and not willing to find out what the real issue is. Because we all know the real issue is not just skin based, especially in this time and age. You feel me? The news, we know now that the news choose to put out agendas and put out the most inviting and most capturing topic of all. So we should be very careful into the narrative that we paint. So I'm not gonna paint this into a race thing. You feel me? I'm not. I know a lot of people in my field are going to be mad at it and be like, yo, why not? This, that, and third. Because I don't want to take away from the victims and what people are going. People who are Asian, I don't want to take away from them. Because it's obvious that they're being attacked now. And the worst of all, these are women who are their job trying to make some money in this hard times. And they shouldn't have to worry about somebody walking into their job and executing them. Like, that shit is crazy. That's why I want to talk about the individuals involved. You feel me? The kid happened to be 21, a young man at that age, and he had that mental capacity to break down. I think that's a bigger issue than us talking about the race thing. Honestly, I'm not giving them, I'm not throwing them I'm not giving them a leeway and letting them off the hook. Trust me, I'm not. If I wanted to talk about it, I'd talk about it. I don't feel like that's a helpful topic at all. It's not going to help nobody else, me talking about how these niggas is crazy, it's always them, this, that, and the third. Nah, we're not going to talk about that. I want to talk about the age, the gender, and the sex, and the race, and the race of the victims involved. That it is obvious that these people are being targeted now. It's too obvious in this day and age. It's not. Ooh, it's really nice. It's not that we as African Americans are not being targeted, because we've been targeted for over 400 years. So that's a fact. But I want to talk about right now, in the moment that we're in right now. You don't do that shit, man. What's wrong with you, bro? Like, we need to see who his parents are, what was his background, the reason why he did what he did, because he could have walked into any business and done that. Does he have any relationship with the victims at hand? Because he went to 3 different locations, and all 3 locations had one thing in common, which was Asian. So it's obvious he was targeted. It was a hate crime. And it's like, yo, it's like you went on a killing spree, and your target was very soft because you was only shooting women. That's cowardly, you feel me? Why did you break down to the point where you felt the need to do such a thing? And I believe if it had anything to do with race, if we had to bring race into it, if that individual was black, they would have had a manhunt on that nigga's ass. And they probably would have killed him, and they would have brought him alive. And that's the thing with law enforcement sometimes, when people be talking about a good cop and bad cop thing, you feel me? You feel me? When it comes to the people unite, this day has really nothing to do with law enforcement. It has something to do with individuals who see white as good, regardless of what that individual white person do. They just see it as good, and they just see it as something that they need to treat with delicacy. You feel me? This nigga can cause the terrorist attack of all terrorist attacks. He can bomb the IRS building and they'll still arrest him neatly. They guard him into the car very neatly. And they could be one nigga who shot one other individual, and they could be a SWAT car, and they could just have that nigga in a fucking cage, acting as if he's an animal. You feel me? I'm just saying, man. We need to look into these things, like the reason why individuals in certain positions act like that towards other people. We're not even going to talk about the race thing like that no more. It's obvious. Some things are too obvious. That we do have some, crackers among us who just hate blacks, I've received a lot of those, trust me, I do. But we're not going to talk about that, you feel me? The kid was 21 years old. He's not really a kid no more. If you compare it to the other race and how we being treated when we go into the courtroom, the 17-year-old that's being tried as adults. So he's not a kid. He's an adult, so I'm gonna take that back. He's an adult, 21 years old. He should know right from wrong. You should know not to walk into a place and shoot somebody innocently and they didn't do nothing to you. You feel me? And maybe I'm making an excuse for him because I'm talking about mental breakdown. Maybe I'm making an excuse for him when I'm talking about mental breakdown. But the truth of the matter is, like, I am trying to understand why any human being would do something like that. You feel me? I'm trying to throw the dog a bone. Like, why would you do something like that, bro? Like, I don't want to hear nothing about him being a Trump supporter. Because that shit is bullshit. Like, you can't blame everything on Trump support. This rhetoric that Trump was spitting this rhetoric and nobody was doing nothing about it. It's been a whole year since the whole shit. You're trying to tell me that it took a year for him to get out of office, for somebody else to be in office, for all this shit to start happening? Every time the Democrats is in office, crazy shit happens. I'm sorry. The man was in office for 4 years and we ain't had a lick of war. I am sorry. The most that happened was the killing of the Iran general. Then that was it. As soon as this and the crazy Democrats get into office, all this shit start happening. Because there always got to be a tragedy before they pass a policy. It's true, my nigga. They always got to have some form of tragedy. There always got to be. It has to be a movement, a revolution, before they pass some bullshit law into place. I'm waiting for that law to happen. There's going to be the protection of Asian Americans. I'm waiting on it. Because they've been trying to pass that shit for a while now. Now this one right here, they probably another agent that they insert into the mix. Because there was no reason why he should have done what he did. But then again, it comes back to my situation, because I always got related to me. It comes back to my situation. We asking a terrorist government to honestly investigate something that is going on. It's just like when I called for them to investigate what was going on with my situation, and they called back the people that I'm complaining about to investigate it. It's like it's never gonna work, bro. Like, you have people, like, it just doesn't work like that. You feel me? There's no honesty in that situation. There's no honesty in that situation. You can't tell the government to investigate an individual. You can't ask white supremacists, people who have been known to be white supremacists, to investigate a white supremacist. There's a conflict of interest in there. Like, there is a conflict of interest. And like I said, I'm not making it a race issue, but if you were to, let me tell you something about white supremacists. White supremacists will never, and I know that from my battle with not just white supremacists, I know that from my battle with just supremacists. You feel me? To me, supremacist is somebody who wants to make themselves look good. White supremacists' job is to make white people look good across the world. And if they gotta use Tom Brady to be the image of their greatness, because their whole objective is that we are better than you. We feel like we don't want to be contaminated. That's why they always go with that 1% rule. So they be like, oh, you contaminated, you can't be pure white. They believe that white is better than anything else on earth. So if a person like Tom Brady was to have his own accomplishment here, he earned it, they will use him. Like, look, this is an example of white, this is an example of what we're talking about. And they will use that as an image, and they will project that into the masses. Like, this is how great we are. Like, a person like Bill Gates could be a man on his own, just doing his own thing. But they will use a Bill Gates and be like, look, this white person whose name is Bill Gates, look at how great he is. This is an example of how great we are. It has nothing to do with Tom Brady or Bill Gates. They're just using these people just to project their ideology. You feel me? And it works perfect. If those are black supremacists, shit, we got a whole lot of people we can use. Nigga, we use anybody, bro. Like, that shit is endless how we can. And that's what it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that these people stand for black supremacists. It's just that they're in a position where we can use the complexion of their pigment and the greatness that they have accomplished on their own as our own objective or as our own narratives, just to feed the masses of our bullshit that we trying to sell out. You feel me? And that's the same thing with white supremacists. And the individuals that they use has nothing to do with the organization itself. But there is an organization that's behind white supremacists that is endorsed by the some section of the United States government. And the United States government will use anybody. The United States government, they will use Donald Trump as the face of white supremacists. Donald Trump was a man whose father came here, and then after that, as an immigrant from there, Donald Trump became president. They will use Donald Trump's accomplishment as something like, look at what we have accomplished. But Donald Trump has nothing to do with the white supremacists. The white supremacists will always attach itself to white greatness. Just like a black supremacist will attach itself to black greatness. Just like a Spanish supremacist will attach itself to Spanish greatness. The only difference is that white supremacists has a huge control of the powers that are like the United States government itself. And they have a lot of wealth. So they're able to push their agenda further than other supremacists. And white supremacists has been around much longer than any other supremacists around. They're still around. Don't let these niggas fool you and act like they in favor of shutting down or white supremacists. No, they're part of white supremacist agenda. You feel me? Sometimes a person can be working for white supremacists and don't even know. You working their agenda, but you don't even know. And you asking white supremacists to investigate this kid who's obviously probably like a plant, somebody that they put in there to do this shit. Because half of the time, by the time we find out about the reason why this shit happened, it's too late, you feel me? Why is it all of a sudden? They do have Asian supremacists too. China, come on. China is too big for not to have some form of supremacists. It's too big for them not to have things going in their favor. They do have all of that shit, and they gotta sacrifice their own. They will sacrifice their own. It's not just about. Trust me, it's an agenda. They have an overall picture how they want the world to see them. You feel me? And they will not allow another man to come into their space and dominate. Like think about it. They will never allow that. They will not. Trust me, they will never look weak. They will never look weak, even when you think it's weak. To me, it's weak for an individual to shoot a woman. Like, come on, or to kill a child. That's weakness to me. Like, that's beyond weakness. But to some white supremacists, they might say, white power, this, we don't, this is our country and all that shit, you feel me? So, to me, it's a weakness to kill a woman. It's weak. It's the weakest thing you can do. But to them, it's like, nah. Feel me? All that, like, shit like that, you feel me? It's just a difference in mentality, that's all. That nigga was hiding behind the truck, trying to smoke cigarettes. I can't help. It's not gonna work, people. The most you gonna get out of me, secondhand smoking, that don't even work for too long. You feel me? And that's just the truth. Like, these niggas sometimes are just being used by a higher authority, and they have nothing to do with them. I could be a white guy just living my life, and I happen to create something that was great. They will use me as something. Like, look at this man named Jeffrey, who's a white guy, and look at what he's created. This is what we're talking about when we talk about greatness. And they will use that to their advantage. I'm telling you the truth, my nigga. Just like if I was a black supremacist, I'd be like, yo, let's look at Michael Jordan. Let's look at LeBron James. I'd be like, our genetic material, look at what the fuck? If I was a black man, I was a black supremacist, I would use somebody like LeBron James. I would use Dr. Neil Tyson. I'd be like, our brain, our body, our this, our that is supreme, because look at what this nigga is doing. Look at what that nigga is doing. Look at what this black person is doing. And guess what? This is why I will use them as an example. And I use that to just constantly paint this picture forward. You feel me? It's just the truth, my nigga. Like, sometimes the organization of the supremacists is always hiding behind closed doors while it's using people that look like it. They don't care if that person is Spanish. They despise these people. But if that person come close to white, they will use that nigga to their advantage. And that's just the truth of the matter, you feel me? Hey, I'm gonna leave you alone because I know these niggas be hating. You feel me? you got the skinny white boys. These niggas gotta get some. You know what they need? They need some. You need some security in your life. That's all. You need to be secure within yourself, where you don't have to attack somebody to feel good about. Just like that. Then they got pink. Yo, you gotta be a man, my nigga. You a whole man with skirts on. Like, you gotta get your shit together. I'm gonna go around because I still got a lot of time to go. You feel me? These niggas need to have some form of security in their life, so you don't have to attack anybody to make yourself feel good about yourself. It just doesn't. Okay. It just doesn't have to do with. It does not have to do with just white supremacists. It also has a lot to do with insecure white boys too. That's another topic a lot of people is not talking about. Let's talk about that now. You feel me? And keep going. What the fuck? That's what a lot of people is not talking about. How this insecure hillbillies. You feel me? Something that white supremacists will not use, honestly. But it's more like the foot soldiers of white supremacists. You feel me? They are the ones that are not part of the club, but yet represent the club, but the club never represents them. You feel me? They are the ones that white supremacists is ashamed of. You feel me? But those people be the worst. They are the ones that represented the most. They be the ones that, like that kid over there who went up and shot up the thing, looked like somebody who is like a hillbilly. You feel me? The most dangerous kind of all them niggas. You feel me? And we're not trying to insult these people, but sometimes they give a bad rap to the rest of the other people that look like them. They are an embarrassment to their own race. Because now you make everybody else feel uncomfortable who has the same skin complexion as you. If this thing keeps happening, then people are just going to look at y'all like, yo, what's going on? And it's easy for people to generalize these kind of things and be like, yo, there's something going on with these people. And it's like, it's much easier for people to put people in a category, because to dive into it, nobody dives into topic no more. Everybody's a surface level information. Surface level, it's like, we got too many things going on. So the news tell us, well, they put the whole picture up and have you paint your own narratives, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if they give you the narratives of what you need to, and they give you the picture and everything else like that, they literally telling you what to think. So people don't dive into the thought of it and be like, okay, maybe this individual was stressed out. He probably was on some form of medication, psycho medication. They can't dive into these things. The only thing that they're gonna dive into, like I dive into, first thing they're gonna leech on is white supremacists. Oh, this white boys is crazy. Like they will attach anything that has. There's just like the same people again. You feel me? This is what they're gonna dive into, but they're not gonna wait on the news to. They're not gonna come back and check on the story and be like, okay, what is it about this individual that made him do what he did? Is this thing really related to the COVID-19? They're not gonna ask those questions. You feel me? They're just gonna dive into it. I painted before I started talking about the subject, I wanted to paint a picture of where we can look at it. And I decided to look at it from an individual point of view. And when we looked at it from an individual point of view, I also looked at it from a white supremacist point of view, how white supremacists will use that individual and be like, it's more like an Al-Qaeda or a terrorist, and they take credit for bombing and stuff like that. That's the same thing with white supremacists sometimes. They will take ownership of what this individual did on his own. He probably not even associated with white supremacists, because white supremacists will never recruit something like that, because to them that's an embarrassment. That's not excellent. So, but him doing what he did, they will take ownership of it in privacy and be proud of it. You feel me? Out of the hateful purposes of it, just for the hate department. The hate department would take that. But when it comes to excellence and great and building empires around the world, they're embarrassed of something like that. So you have your regular channels coming and denouncing that kind of behavior and everything else like that. Feel me? That shit is crazy. But let's talk about the victim now, the Asian woman. I spoke about the predator. Now we're going to talk about the victims itself and how, like I said earlier, how can you expect to just go to work? You got somebody that walks in there, it's like you have your guard down. The same thing that happened in church. when they had their guard down, and these people just walk in there and just fired upon them. You feel me? We outside. You see the sun? What is sun there? I see you, baby. You can tell this is not a throwback bit. I just want to make the difference in the hair and everything else like that. Feel me? But today is March 17, 2021. California, you hear the noise in the background. That's the plane. I have no rights to them. I have no rights to the sound of the plane. I really don't. Feel me? Anyway, look, man. Let's take a look at the victims who, unfortunately, is like being. It's a killing season for. Like, it's crazy how people are just hunting Asian Americans. Like, what's like? I didn't believe it at first. I'm like, they blowing shit out of proportion. Nah, this took it to a whole nother level. You feel me? A whole nother level. Like, we gotta look, like, why? Like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you kill a woman? It's crazy. Like, I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. That's a reason why they always said women and children are off limits. Because when these acts are committed, you get to know the reason why. Because this is an essential part of life itself. You cannot take the woman out of the equation. Because they are the one who bring children forth into life. And the kids are the one that generate something young and give us youth. When we see these things, they give us some kind of happiness and brightness. This is the reason why these two are essentials to life. Now you out here just pow, shooting women. Calm down. You don't have to listen, please. Please. You ain't gotta listen to me. Now you out here taking women out of the equation like that. That's like, it's like when these things happen, it brings into effect why people don't do such thing like that. That's why even casualty of war, you don't even shoot a woman. Like, you just don't. That's why men have been men are the one who almost died the most in war when there's ever a war. Feel me? This is not back. The African warriors was quite different. Feel me? There was a lot of women that were African warriors, but it wasn't like you had a whole army of women fighting No, there was a woman general leading a lot of men. Feel me? There's a difference. So there's always men in war fighting against each other. So I'm not saying it was okay for men to die, but these men chose to go to war. You feel me? So it's fair game. But a woman who has not chosen, she hasn't signed up for that. I know that's casualty, but if you never declare a war on somebody and you just start warring with them, who are you then? Like, it's crazy. There's a difference between what the United States did as guerrilla tactics against the British or against England or British when they know that the army was too big. So they decided to hide out in the woods. So when the army was coming, they ambushed them. But at least both sides knew that they was at war. One knew that, we can't beat this army. They're too big. So we had to use different tactics. But this is a totally different situation when one does not know he's at war with you, but yet you warring and creating war against, you waging war against that individual. And that person doesn't even know. And that's what I feel like that's what we're known in this situation. And continue to go on where of course, black people, they've been waging war on us for the beginning of time. And every time we say something about it, they shoot us with comfortability and make it seem as if we are the crazy ones. Hold on. I still got time. I got time. Anyway, look. They shoot us with comfortability and make it seem like we crazy. But they've been waging war on African Americans for 400 years. Almost maybe 500 to 600 years. Who knows how long they've been plotting. So I can understand the African American. Okay, hold on. So I can understand the African American situation, but that's not what we're talking about right now. And a shooting happened in Atlanta, Georgia, bro. According to Georgia officials, it's too early to determine whether the shooting was a hate crime. I say it's a hate crime. I call it for what it is. You can't go into 3 different spas all owned by Asians and tell me that's not a hate crime. That's a hate crime, man. It is a hate crime. What the fuck you niggas talking about? You can't, like, Atlanta is a black-owned state. You feel me? You can't walk into these places and expect Like that shit is fucked up. Like it's crazy, man. Like you don't shoot a woman. Like you don't do that. Like I said, man, you can't wage a war on people and the people don't know that you're waging a war on them. Then act as if you're not waging a war on them. And we see it for what is going on, that there was a war being waged on these individuals. Like myself, a war has been waged on me. You feel me? These people just want to attack me every chance they get. Like I said, there's a difference between me knowing there's a war going on and I'm using tactics because the army's too big for me. But you niggas is outnumbering the individuals and you still using those same tactics against that individual. And it's like how coward gets. You have to understand that. That shit is crazy. And I'm not even in a rush to get to work right now because I got time. I got time today. You feel me? But how can you wage... Like I understand the beginning of American civilization when we first trying to get our independent. We was trying to get our independent from what do you call British or England? You know what I mean? George Washington and them were a very small army at that time, and it's like, damn, we know we cannot defeat these people. They're bigger than us. They got more resources than us. They got more men than us. It's like the United States warring against Vietnam. You feel me? But Vietnam people knew, just like the Americans back then knew, we know we can't defeat these people, but we have to form a different tactic. But we both knew we was a conflict going on. We both knew there was a war going on. These niggas nowadays, I'm speaking for myself and others, all the victims across the world, they waging war on us and we don't even know who the opponent is. They're like a virus, which is hate, by the way. They are a virus that's waging war on mankind's children, which is us. And we don't even know where the hate is coming from. It's like you don't even know where there's war, and it's like when you approach it, they act peacefully, and it's like it's crazy. Like it's the cowardness has to stop. Like you feel me? It just has to stop. It's unacceptable. Nobody in the history of the world has ever behaved in that form of manner. And these individuals have to be called out on it. And you cannot, that's why I made a video yesterday talking about encouraging bad behavior. You feel me? That's what people are doing. These people are encouraging bad behavior. They're part of the bad behavior. They are in alignment with the bad behavior. They are in unison with the bad behavior. Feel me? They're driving along with the bad behavior. They're encouraging and not discouraging. They're endorsing. They're doing all kinds of things to this bad behavior. You feel me? And it's wrong. It's just wrong. Call it for what it is. It's wrong. And that was just yesterday. Then later on, I found out that that's what happened. That these innocent people were attacked due to bad behavior in Dawson. I'm pretty sure somebody helped that boy out, encouraging him, endorsing him, feel me, advertising his hate, feel me, covering up for him. That shit is wrong. Like, if wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong, you gotta call out for it, feel me? I'm always at the doorsteps of the job right now. You getting there, don't worry about it. Huh? You feel me? Shit is crazy out here. It's wicked out here, man. It's a wicked world. Like, these niggas have no honor. This is, you see, there's a line right here that cuts one from the other. They just crossing over unwillingly. Like, they just have no rules to the game that they playing. And that's the scary part. You get tired of this shit. You be like, yo, what the fuck, man? These niggas ain't got no fucking respect for nobody. They don't even have respect for themselves. Don't ask them to respect the shit. They don't. They hate it. They have a disease, a virus. They have a dis-ease with themselves. They're not at ease at all. They're uncomfortable with the situations, the matter at hand. You feel me? But yo, shout out to the victims, man. I know I was all over the place with this. Shout out to the victims and their family, you know what I mean, and the Asian community. Feel me? But I just want the Asian community to know that they were saying, I was watching a video when they was talking about, it seems like it's the African Americans against the Asian community, and that's not true. You see what's going on, man. Y'all have a bigger problem than what's going on right here. They always trying to paint that shit away from them. If you take a look at YouTube videos and everything else, it's not Africa. It's not few 19-year-old individual African Americans who decided to hit you. Feel me? These niggas is shooting people. You feel me? And you getting hit, you getting attacked, and you getting stabbed. You got a problem on your hands. Feel me? And one thing for sure, and two things for certain. Y'all have the power not to conduct yourself in certain behaviors. You feel me? That's the problem. Y'all niggas be conducting yourself in behaviors that when it happens to you, you don't understand how to receive it. You feel me? The problem is these niggas be conducting and behaving. They be encouraging the behavior. Some of y'all, not all, I'm talking about individuals. Y'all be encouraging the behavior that when it's up to y'all now, y'all want us to understand it. And I don't understand it now. Because I have to act oblivious to what's going on now. But me being me, I'm going to call it like what it is. Because, feel me? We see what's going on. Like, I seen a lot of people go against me that was of Asian descent. They joined the crowd. Now this shit is going on. I don't even know how to receive it. But I'm going to speak the truth regardless, whether it's wrong or right. I'm going to tell it like what it is. You feel me? We're gonna speak the truth into light and call it out. Even though I have the right to be bitter about the situation, I'm going to just say wrong is wrong. It's wrong for what happened to had happened. Nobody should take another person's life, whether it's fast or slow. You feel me? Because some of the things that y'all do can kill somebody too. It's just taking a little longer. That's all. It takes a slow death and fast death. The shooting was a fast death. But it's wrong on all sides. You feel me? All crimes in the eye of the Lord is the same. I told y'all niggas that already. I'll holler at y'all. Let me get out of this.